3 short nights before Independence Day, we are in your nation's capital of Washington, D.C. as we approach the Capital One Arena for night 1 of a special Great American Bash production here on Monday Night Raw. And after a trilogy of matches throughout 2024, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan conclude their rivalry in a last woman standing contest over the WWE Women's Championship. These two women, main event here tonight in DC. And last week, the shocking betrayal as CM Punk drew a line in the sand, making his intentions very clear to Kevin Owens. Punk avoided action last week, but tonight there is no running from Big Bronson Reed. The #1 contender for the WWE Championship, CM Punk, runs into a roadblock on the road to Money in the Bank. He takes on Bronson Reed, first time ever later tonight, here at the Great American Bash. But what bigger way to kick things off, as advertised, with the World Tag Team Championship on the line. This is night 1 of the Great American Bash. Night 2 coming your way courtesy of Friday Night SmackDown this Friday night in Philadelphia. But we are here in your nation's capital of Washington, D.C. Just a few short nights before Independence Day in the United States. Bubba Ray and Devon, the Dudley Boyz, have traveled all across the globe and have won 25 collective tag team titles all throughout different promotions, all throughout WWE, TNA Wrestling, New Japan Wrestling, and more. But they have been back on Monday Night Raw over the last month and change, and now they look to cement their legacy that much further by winning their 26th World Tag Team title. But it is not going to be an easy task for the Hall of Famers. They go 2v2 against the Archer of Infamy, Damian Priest, the Prince Finn Balor, the Judgment Day, who have continued to wreak havoc left and right over Monday Night Raw over the last few months. The Dudley Boyz ready for a fight and a chance to obtain Tag Team Gold. Well, of course, the Dudley Boyz defeating Elton Prince and Kit Wilson of Pretty Deadly upon their return back at All-Star Raw on Memorial Day. They turned away DIY 2 weeks ago to earn this #1 contendership, but approaching the squared circle, the 2023 Tag Team of the Year, the 3-time World Tag Team Champions, and a team that has made a hell of a lot of enemies over the last few months here on Raw. Damian Priest and Finn Balor of the Judgment Day looking more dangerous than ever. Just last week, a victory, albeit in a handicap situation, over the WWE Champion Kevin Owens. What was supposed to be a tag team matchup alongside CM Punk, turning into a handicap situation. Owens left to fight alone, and the Judgment Day, of course, reaping the rewards of that handicap affair. But nonetheless, the World Tag Team Champions now focus on their #1 contenders, Bubba Ray and Devon, the Dudley Boyz, who came back to WWE with 2 intentions in mind: to prove they can hang with this day and age crop of talent, and to once again hold Tag Team Championship gold. Well, it's going to be one hell of a night here in the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Thank you for joining us live for the Great American Bash edition of Monday Night Raw. Let's send things down to the ring for your official World Tag Team Championship match introductions.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for 1 fall and is for the World Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 595 pounds, Bubba Ray and Devon, the Dudley Boyz. And their opponents at a combined weight of 400
Well, Damian Priest and Finn Balor kicking off their third reign as World Tag Team Champions back in the month of May, defeating Jay and Jimmy of the Usos in a Tornado Tag Team match at Vengeance. Of course, we have not seen the Usos, we have not seen Solo Sikoa, all taken out by hands of Priest, Balor, and of course, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And we're going to touch on after this matchup what happened to the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns just 7 nights ago. An event that I'm sure the Judgment Day had their hands in, but here we go. The bell has sounded. Devon Dudley kicking things off with the punishment of the Judgment Day, Damian Priest. As we mentioned, Bubba Ray and Devon, already Hall of Famers. Nothing left to prove, but everything to gain. They have traveled all across this globe time and time again. They have wrestled against the best tag teams that the world has had to offer. Won tag team championships here in the WWE, IWGP tag team titles, TNA World Tag Team titles, and many more. And now they look to win the World Tag Team titles all over again in a first time ever collision against Priest and Balor, the team that has dictated themselves the team, the pillars of Monday Night Raw. Now, there's a point in time where Priest and Balor have continued to call themselves the greatest tag team in Raw history, and that was something that Jay and Jimmy Uso, upon their return at the top of this year, really took disdain with. You gotta imagine how the Dudley boys feel about Priest and Balor and their sentiments, but nonetheless, tag made to Finn Balor. Devon Dudley feeling the brunt of what has made the Judgment Day so successful. But one thing Balor and Priest got to be prepared for tonight is the grittiness of Devon and Bubba. These two hardcore originals willing to get down and dirty, tough as nails, even at this stage in their careers. Not looking to leave any stone unturned in their pursuit of the tag team titles. Bubba in, tag to Devon, and now the Dudley boys with some of the tag team action that made the world renowned. And now it is Finn Balor that is feeling the brunt of these two Hall of Famers. Not even getting the one count that time. Finn Balor and Damian Priest. And all the work they have done to make a hell of a lot of enemies here on Raw. They don't want to see that go up in smoke tonight. Look at the names that Balor, Priest, and Dominic have simply pissed off. And if you're worse, if you're the Usos and Solo Sikoa put on the shelf over the last few months. You talk about those bloodline members. Talk about the WWE Champion Kevin Owens, somebody they have crossed paths with. Hell, just a few weeks ago, Damian Priest with that South of Heaven to CM Punk at the top of the stage. CM Punk obviously concerned with other matters as we saw last week, but the Judgment Day's list of enemies continues to grow, and quite frankly, I don't think they would have it any other way. Everything might come back to haunt them here tonight if the Dudley boys have their way of it. Bubba Ray and Damian Priest getting in a spat, and it allows the Prince Finn Balor to take advantage. Dare I say, a rookie mistake out of this world-traveled veteran. And now Finn Balor from behind, off the schoolboy to retain the tag team titles, not just yet. Balor and Priest were obsessed with winning back the World Tag Team titles. Belts that they lost at WrestleMania earlier this year. Played the cards they had to play to get that Tornado Tag Team matchup. The interference by Dirty Dominic Mysterio back at Vengeance. Becoming 3-time Tag Team champions since the group's inception in March of 2023. Priest, Balor, Dominic, Rhea certainly taken centerfold time and time again here on Monday Night Raw. Made themselves world famous if they weren't already. Nonetheless, so much action still to come here on Monday Night Raw tonight. Not one but two Money in the Bank qualifiers on hand. The badass Braun Breaker set to go one-on-one with the Harbinger of Doom, Karrion Kross. Some bad blood between those two superstars that is going to be settled in the midst of the qualifier. Plus, coming up next, women's Money in the Bank qualifier as Chelsea Green steps inside the squared circle. But who is going to be standing across the ring from our mystery opponent? We're going to find out who's going to get their chance at Money in the Bank coming up shortly here on Monday Night Raw. Meanwhile, Devon Dudley tagged in and looking to turn the tables, all pun intended. Unfortunately, not able to get the 3 count. Nonetheless, Washington, D.C. on their feet. for this great tag team title defense to kick things off tonight on the Great American Bash edition of Monday Night Raw. We are, of course, on the road to Money in the Bank in the O2 Arena in London, England, live Saturday night, July 13th. So much action to come when we go across the pond, and we'll be talking about it tonight, throughout tonight here on Monday Night Raw. Well, right now, the matters at hand are the World Tag Team titles, the centerfold of Priest and Balor, and everything they worked for, and everything they have desired. Now is the Dudley Boyz trying to complete a comeback, so to speak, by taking down the Archer of Infamy, as well as the Priest. Excuse me, that would be the Prince, the Priest, Damian Priest, inside the ring and stomping a mud hole for that bully Bubba Ray Dudley. We talked about Roman Reigns and what happened last week on Raw. We're going to take a closer look at it coming up in moments, but we assumed Roman Reigns was making his return to Raw last week to address all the issues that have been prolonging between the Judgment Day and his family members and Jay and Jimmy and Solo Sikoa. Roman Reigns unable even to make it to the ring thanks to an attack backstage that spilled out into the arena by the visionary Seth freaking Rollins, somebody who knows Roman Reigns possibly better than he knows himself. Meanwhile, Damian Priest almost putting this matchup away, but Devon Dudley breaking things up. There's always been a loose partnership between Seth Rollins and the Judgment Day. Hold that thought as Bubba Ray with that elevated cutter, damn near a one-man 3D. Almost stealing the tag team titles away from Priest and Balor. Balor interfering, Bubba making them pay. Damian Priest might have been able to survive. Looks like the Judgment Day is pretty worse for wear at the current moment. Those damn Dudleys may be nearing a 26 tag team title, not just here in the WWE, but all across the globe. Damian Priest on the soles of his boots, not by will, but by force of the opposer. Finn Balor back on the outside, and now Devon Dudley with his own plans in mind. A little snake eyes to the punishment of the Judgment Day. He rejects that elevated drop kick. Now Devon Dudley with a reversal of his own. These two teams meeting for the first time ever, but obvious they had done their homework on one another, and how could you not? If you're the Judgment Day going against these two Hall of Famers. And Priest with a boot that just leveled that damn Dudley. Devon into the corner. And enemy territory at that. And a tag made to the Prince Finn Balor, who has his eyes locked on a weakened Devon Dudley. One half of the challenger sent to the outside. Balor gonna meet him there by soaring over the top rope. Never once have we taken away from the talents of the Judgment Day, whether it's Balor, Priest, Rhea, or even that dirty Dominic Mysterio. One hell of a group in terms of talent. It's the underhanded tactics that we constantly disagree with. Devon Dudley trying to avoid any tactics that Balor and Priest may have in mind tonight. Hoisting Finn on the top. Devon going for some elevation off the neck breaker. And a tag made back to Bubba. Bubba Ray Dudley ought to go for the cover here, but it looks like he's playing defense against Damian Priest, or maybe not. I don't know what Bubba had in mind, but Damian Priest making him pay. And now Balor from behind, looking to send Bubba Ray to the wasteland. To retain the titles, and Devon Dudley still with roller skates underneath him, able to get to halfway across the ring. Bubba Ray Dudley a moment ago could have been looking to divide and conquer, and maybe looking for what Finn Balor is doing right here as he takes Devon off the apron. This may be the Judgment Day's best opportunity yet to try to take down Bubba Ray and Devon. Bubba Ray looking worse for wear up against the ropes as Balor looks to stack the offense in this World Tag Team Championship defense. Any given day, It can be somebody's day here on Monday Night Raw to succeed, and the Dudley Boyz looking to prove why they are Hall of Famers and one of the best tag teams to ever lace up a pair of boots tonight. And Balor set halfway across the ring, now back into enemy territory. Oh no, up in the Tree of Woes is not where Finn Balor wants to be, and oof! Finn Balor going to be counting his blessings that time, and a swing blade on Bubba Ray. Just like that, snap of the fingers, and Balor and Priest are back in control. Once again, Bubba Ray looking up at the lights, and Diva Dudley sent to the outside. Balor going up top. Coup de grace! Into the cover. And the Judgment Day retain the tag team titles. The Dudley Boyz' hopes of winning their 26th combined world tag team title is going to have to live for another day, because unfortunately the Judgment Day continue to rise to the occasion here tonight at the Great American Bash.
Here are your winners, and still the World Tag Team Champions, Damian Priest and Finn Balor, the Judgment Day.
You know, we talked about the loose partnership that has seemingly always been there between Seth freaking Rollins and the Judgment Day. Well, as the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns was seemingly coming back to address the ever-looming issues between the Judgment Day and his family members in the Usos and Solo Sikoa, it seemed as if the Judgment Day called upon a difference maker. We take a look at what happened last week as Roman Reigns' lifeless body was sent out through the curtain. Only to be seen was Seth freaking Rollins, the casualty that was the Tribal Chief by hands of a man he once called his brother. Just as the walls were beginning to close in on the Judgment Day, they called in their ace, the visionary, Seth freaking Rollins, getting his hands dirty against an old rival and an old brother last week. Roman Reigns joining his family on the shelf. What is going to be next for Seth Rollins and the Judgment Day here on Monday Night Raw?
Storm is coming, walking. It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head, and then you'll fly, fly, finish line. And now you're playing with matches. Come out of the
We're back live inside Capital One Arena on the road to Money in the Bank. As we get ready for a Women's Money in the Bank qualifier, already qualified for Saturday night, July the 13th. Io Sky and Shayna Baszler from Friday Night SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton, courtesy of Monday Night Raw. Chelsea Green looking for an opportunity, but who is her opponent? Well, look who's coming around. For the first time since the month of February, the man is on Raw.
And from Dublin, Ireland,
Well, it has been a couple months since the man, Becky Lynch, walked down the aisle here on Monday Night Raw. But Becky is back tonight and looking to punch her ticket to the Women's Money in the Bank ladder matchup a week from Saturday in the United Kingdom. Well, I'll tell you what, Chelsea Green cannot be happy about this occasion. Money in the Bank qualifier, that's a thumbs up. But for Chelsea Green, seeing a future Hall of Famer and Becky Lynch approaching the aisle. That's got to be a thumbs down in the mind of Chelsea. Nonetheless, Tiffany Stratton already one of the 3 Raw superstars that will compete at Money in the Bank. Who will take the second slot? Will it be Chelsea Green? She's got the X Factor of Sonya Deville in her corner. Or will it be the woman who clearly has Washington, D.C. behind her tonight? The man, Becky Lynch, is back, and she has got fire underneath of her as the bell sounds. Well, certainly the ante up to this Money in the Bank qualifier here at the Great American Bash. Chelsea Green, again, as we mentioned, got that X Factor in her corner with Sonya Deville at ringside. But I am sure Becky Lynch is looking to get this thing done in a hurry and not have to worry about anybody who is loitering on the outside to the ropes. Becky with an armbar locked in, not necessarily to disarm her, but there'll be a submission hold to either defeat Chelsea or at least soften her up. Chelsea Green has got to try to think on her feet here. Becky Lynch could not have been the opponent that Chelsea was expecting here tonight. Chelsea Green has been a centerfold in the Monday Night Raw Women's Division ever since her return a couple of months ago, but it has been since the month of February since we have seen Becky Lynch. Becky back here tonight, competing in this Money in the Bank qualifier, and 2023, a little bit of an up and down year for Becky. Had multiple chances to become the WWE Women's Champion. All of those opportunities slipping through her fingers. Money in the Bank, a whole different ball game if the man can somehow survive Chelsea Green in the numbers here tonight. I give credit where credit's due. Chelsea's doing a hell of a job thinking on her feet, sending Becky Lynch into the corner. Becky looking worse for wear, but Chelsea better not turn her back to a very motivated man here tonight. Last time we saw Becky, I believe, was a part of a fatal 5-way here on Monday Night Raw. The same matchup that Liv Morgan ended up winning, which propelled her on to challenge Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Now Becky Lynch back here on Raw tonight as a new opportunity arises. Chelsea Green trying to find her way down the right path, but the man playing a roadblock. Again, already qualified for the Women's Money in the Bank ladder matchup, Io Sky and Shayna Baszler from Friday Night SmackDown. And last week we, of course, saw Tiffany Stratton defeating Bianca Belair via countout to punch her ticket to London, England. Well, you see there the X Factor and Sonya Deville distracting Becky Lynch. Chelsea Green off the backslide, trying to steal a spot in Money in the Bank. Not just yet. Chelsea kick to the gut, could be going for that Canadian destroyer that she loves to implore. Oh, Becky Lynch done her homework. Takes Chelsea down momentarily. Suplex, no, rolls through. Oh, and look at that! Disarmer locked in. Becky Lynch with the submission hold. Locked in a Blades of Glory. And Chelsea Green with no choice but to tap out. The man with a successful return tonight in the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Chelsea Green is not going to be happy about this. Management's going to get an earful, but the man has come around to Raw.
Here is your winner, Becky Lynch!
Well, 4 of the 6 spots a week from Saturday in London, England have officially been determined. The man, Becky Lynch, joins Io Sky, Tiffany Stratton, and Shayna Baszler in the overall 6-woman Money in the Bank ladder matchup, as we mentioned, coming up live a week from Saturday in the United Kingdom. A huge return for Becky Lynch tonight here at the Great American Bash edition of Raw. And wait a minute, Piper Niven now sneaking up on Becky Lynch. I believe Piper came through the crowd. Piper obviously friends with Chelsea and Sonya and not taking very kindly to Becky Lynch's return and victory here tonight. Well, as confirmed last week, coming up a week from Saturday in London, England, the Second City Saint CM Punk gets his opportunity to become the WWE Champion as he goes to war with Kevin Owens. This is a matchup that has been looming since the month of May at Vengeance, when Kevin Owens successfully defended his gold against the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura. A celebration that was slightly rained on by the return of the best in the world for the first time since WrestleMania. CM Punk returning on that night, and Punk might have felt some type of way, almost seemingly trying to make amends with Kevin Owens a few weeks later in the backstage locker room. Extended the hand of the WWE Champion, and as you will see, Kevin Owens, he wasn't having none of it. Kevin Owens doesn't play well with a lot of superstars in that locker room. That has been common knowledge. And then later that night, Owens and Punk coming to words in the middle of the squared circle, and Punk dishing the disrespect right back to the WWE Champion. A shove in the middle of the ring as tensions continue to rise between these two all-stars. Well, a common enemy in the Judgment Day really brung Punk and Owens together over the last few weeks. Punk taking down Dirty Dominic Mysterio in the King of the Ring, putting a target on his back from Balor and Priest and Dominic as well. We take you back to 2 weeks ago, Kevin Owens defeating Bronson Reed in the main event. CM Punk looming, seemingly drawing that line in the sand, reminding Owens what his intentions were coming for the WWE title. Backs were turned and the World Tag Team Champions took the most advantage. Balor attacking Owens, Priest attacking Punk. And all those roads led us to last week on Raw when Punk teamed up with the champion to take on the Judgment Day. But obviously CM Punk saw an opportunity to fight a different battle, seemingly brushing off what the Judgment Day had did to him a week earlier and allowing Kevin Owens to be thrown to the wolves. That was enough for Kevin Owens to give CM Punk exactly what he wanted. Punk drew the line in the sand, and the fight is on as Punk challenges Owens for the WWE title a week from Saturday at Money in the Bank. Well, Punk may have walked away from a fight, whether we agree with it or not, last week on Raw. But tonight there is no running from an impending battle with Godzilla himself, Big Bronson Reed. Well, CM Punk has always been a polarizing figure, and ever since his return at the Royal Rumble earlier this year, he has had one goal in mind: take over Monday Night Raw and become the WWE Champion. A week from Saturday, his chance to do just that.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 218 pounds, CM Punk.
Whether you love CM Punk, whether you hate CM Punk, nobody can deny that CM Punk played his cards right. Kevin Owens thrown to the wolves last week, yes. But CM Punk showing Kevin Owens that he is willing to go to any means necessary to obtain the WWE Championship. Looking at the history of the Second City Saint here in the WWE, can we say we are surprised at the length CM Punk is willing to travel to? Well, Punk very familiar with the Money in the Bank event. It is where he won his first WWE Championship in 2011. Will 2024 replay history? We find out a week from Saturday in the O2 in London, England. But first things first, can CM Punk survive?
And his opponent from Black Forest, South Australia, weighing in at 330 pounds, Bronson Reed.
I'll tell you what, we were within inches of Bronson Reed being the one that CM Punk was chasing for the WWE Championship. 2 weeks ago, the big man bringing the fight to the prize fighter Kevin Owens, and the main event of Raw, Reed looking extraordinary in defeat. But Big Bronson Reed has proven to be a troublemaker, a difference maker here on Monday Night Raw ever since his return back in March. Reed may have not gotten the job done 2 weeks ago, but rest assured, bigger days are ahead for Big Bronson Reed. And certainly a high-profile match for Reed tonight as he is one-on-one with the #1 contender for the WWE title in CM Punk. We are underway here at the Great American Bash. There's already been a great night of action as CM Punk is going to have to find a way to not only knock down, but keep down Big Bronson Reed. Little springboard action may do the trick. Remember, CM Punk made his way through the King of the Ring tournament throughout the month of throughout the month of May and June. Unfortunately for Punk, came up short in the finals against the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. And of course, hanging in the balance in King of the Ring was an opportunity to go on and main event SummerSlam for your brand's world title. You gotta imagine when CM Punk came up short to Cody, he really felt a sense of urgency to try to find a new way to the WWE title. I think when that opportunity presented itself last week to get under the skin of Kevin Owens, CM Punk did not hesitate to take it. Similar to how Bronson Reed is not hesitating to bring the fight to CM Punk. And hell, I'll be the first to say, I am sure CM Punk not only pissed off Kevin Owens, but might have gotten under the skin of a couple of other superstars in the WWE locker room. Great respect between Reed and Kevin Owens, but I don't know if Bronson Reed's got any ounce of respect for what CM Punk did just 7 nights ago. And it certainly is not holding back on the #1 contender thus far. Bronson Reed is looking to be a main event level player here on Monday Night Raw, and you do that by taking down main event level talent. CM Punk certainly a bona fide Hall of Famer with so much left in the tank that he still wants to accomplish, whether you like his routes or not. CM Punk doing what he does best and finding a way to get to the WWE title at Money in the Bank. Right now, just trying to find a way to keep down Bronson Reed with the acai crossbody to the outside. Rods upon at a count of 8. Bronson Reed down momentarily. And wait a minute, the WWE Champion Kevin Owens in the ring. I believe I heard a bell. CM Punk's gonna win this thing by disqualification, but I don't think Kevin Owens gives a damn. You pissed off Owens last week, and now he's coming for some retribution. Less than 2 weeks before the title's on the line in London, England. Punk going for the go to sleep. Not to be. Package pile driver to the #1 contender. Kevin Owens also not gonna hesitate when it comes to a game of war. Tonight is just a message for what may be to come when the title is on the line a week from Saturday at Money in the Bank. Prepare for the most exciting 10 minutes, a fast-paced 600 seconds, and all the action you can handle. Coming your way exclusively each and every Wednesday, only on the Noah Nation Gaming TikTok. The superstars of Raw and SmackDown race to the finish line on velocity. Competition at an all-time high that you won't see anywhere else. Scan the QR code, follow on TikTok, and don't miss a second of velocity. Well, tension's certainly boiling over tonight at the Great American Bash, but let's take a look back at another tension-filled rivalry that is just beginning here on Monday Night Raw. LA Knight and Dijak met in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament last month, and although Dijak looked incredible in defeat, a BFT led to his demise in the King of the Ring tournament. The megastar LA Knight went to battle the badass Braun Breaker in an unfortunate defeat in the quarterfinals, but that was unfortunately not the last time we saw LA Knight. Later that night, cameras cut to the parking garage where LA Knight was seemingly ambushed upon leaving the arena. Nobody in sight but LA Knight had swore he knew exactly who took him out, and when injuries would heal up, he'd be back on Monday Night Raw for his retribution. Well, that takes us to last week. Dijak and Sami Zayn, one-on-one in a Money in the Bank qualifying matchup when the megastar LA Knight would re-emerge, seemingly revealing that Dijak was the one who targeted LA Knight some odd weeks ago and put him on the shelf in the parking garage. LA Knight distracting Dijak, Sami Zayn making the most of it, and qualifying for Money in the Bank. LA Knight might have gotten the last laugh 7 nights ago, but Dijak on X had this to say. Dijak saying that LA Knight kicking me out of the King of the Ring tournament was the last straw. I didn't come to Raw to be a loser. I took matters into my own hands and took the megastar's spotlight. And since he cost me a spot in Money in the Bank, I'll beat him down once and for all in London. Dijak obviously not seeing the success he would have hoped upon his Monday Night Raw return, and now he looks to turn over a new leaf and take out the megastar in the process. LA Knight seeks retribution. Dijak seeks a stepping stone here in the red brand. These two men meet once more a week from Saturday at Money in the Bank. But speaking of our trip across the pond, who will join Sami Zayn and Trick Williams in the race up the ladder to the contract?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Woodstock, Georgia. Weighing in at 230 pounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, tune in to Velocity each and every Wednesday afternoon only on the No Nation Gaming TikTok. This week, cruiserweight action courtesy of Friday Night SmackDown as the big strong boy Tyler Bate goes one-on-one with Wesley. Scan the QR code on your screen now and go hit the follow button over on TikTok and don't miss a second of the action each and every Wednesday afternoon only on Velocity. But here tonight at the Great American Bash edition of Raw, live in the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C., the badass Bron Breakker looks to punch his ticket to Money in the Bank, all the while settling a score with the Harbinger of Doom, Karrion Kross. There is some recent history between these two men, their paths crossing in situation that I'm sure Bron Breakker did not expect. We will take a look momentarily as Bron Breakker takes a look at his possible impending doom as he attempts to qualify for Money in the Bank. I'll tell you what, Bron Breakker has been making some waves here on Monday Night Raw, but all the while he's continued to climb the ladder of success. He has continued to make a couple of enemies along the way. We take you back to the first round of the King of the Ring tournament, where Bron Breakker defeated Baron Corbin. And just as Breakker was celebrating in his victory, Karrion Kross approached the ring. Kross's looming issues with Baron Corbin in this moment seemingly led him to the squared circle. Kross looking to pick the bones of Corbin. However, the respect built into Bron Breakker, not allowing Kross to prey on Corbin's downfall. Bron Breakker making the save on that night. And as we found out last week, Karrion Kross did not forget. An ambush in the backstage area with a steel chair laying out Bron Breakker. The Harbinger of Doom has been sitting on this beatdown for weeks. And I am sure what happened in the backstage area was only a measure of what Karrion Kross wants to implore upon one of the up-and-coming superstars here on Monday Night Raw. I will tell you what, it was 1 year ago at Money in the Bank that Karrion Kross found himself the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. Ups and downs along the last 12 months. Kross looking to make his way back to that same premium live event as a contender in the Money in the Bank contest. And as dangerous as Kross may be, and although he has that X Factor and that Wicked Witch, Scarlet, in his corner, he cannot underestimate the man who has got that dog in him, Bron Breakker. Breakker has turned away the likes of Cody Rhodes, Edge, Randy Orton, Baron Corbin, LA Knight, massive names here in the WWE over the last few months. Bron Breakker's star continues to rise, but Karrion Kross, looking to extinguish it here tonight. I don't know who the hell Baron Corbin is. But here we go, Karrion Kross and Bron Breakker locking horns in this Money in the Bank qualifier. Karrion Kross and those issues with Baron Corbin, of course, led to them fighting on Velocity several weeks back. Hell of a matchup, certainly a heavyweight battle. Just a vicious fight between those two men. Karrion Kross picking up the victory on Baron Corbin. Now Karrion Kross looks to take the next step, if you will. Trying to reclimb the ladder of success here on Raw. Kross has seen some glimmers of championship gold, but has never been able to pull the trigger. When the big match spotlight is certainly on the squared circle. However, when you look at Bron Breakker over the last few months, somebody who has really come a long way. First year of Bron Breakker's main roster career, really plagued with ups and downs. Every time you thought Breakker was starting to climb the ranks on Friday Night SmackDown, he'd find himself in a big-time matchup, and Bron Breakker would be the first to tell you his naiveness and his overconfidence were his worst detriment. Over the last couple of months, Breakker, as we mentioned, has really turned it around. He's got his head on his shoulders, and there's a different sense of confidence within the badass. Taking down a Hall of Famer, the Rated R Superstar Edge back at WrestleMania, earning pinfall victories over Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton on his way out of SmackDown. And ever since being drafted to Monday Night Raw, Bron Breakker has defeated the likes, as we mentioned, of Baron Corbin, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa. Took CM Punk to the limit in the semifinals of the King of the Ring. Might have come up short, but Bron Breakker turning that many more heads on that night just a few weeks ago in New Orleans, Louisiana. Karrion Kross looking to turn the head of Bron Breakker in a devastating way. Dishing those forearms right back to the badass. You never want to underestimate Bron Breakker, though. This young man is explosive. He is strong. He is certainly a difference maker here on Monday Night Raw. Bron Breakker felt the wrath of the Harbinger of Doom just a few weeks ago in that backstage beatdown. Not looking to do so again tonight. Karrion Kross slamming down Bron Breakker to the canvas. I'll tell you what, Karrion Kross may just blow a gasket if Bron Breakker, a man who fiddled in his issues with Baron Corbin, somehow finds a way to take away his spot in Money in the Bank. Karrion Kross just a few months ago was chasing the Intercontinental Championship. Those desires not working out. Kross would certainly not take the blame for those losses. Certainly point the blame at Baron Corbin. Kross, as we mentioned, seemingly burying that hatchet, at least on his own accord, with Baron Corbin by defeating him on Velocity several weeks ago. But now this Bron Breakker issue has arose, and now it's the Money in the Bank and a spot in it that hangs in the balance. Look at Kross going behind. Kross has done his homework on the strength and agility of Bron Breakker, Doomsday Saito. And within inches of qualifying for the ladder match across the pond, but Bron Breakker, tough as nails, exploding with the kick out. But how much is left in Breakker? Karrion Kross brings a very violent and vicious offense to the squared circle that is meant to beat you down and make you feel it for days on end. Bron Breakker looking worse for wear at the current moment as Karrion Kross, his MMA background, and certainly his violent mind all coming into play. Literally looking to prey on the downfall of that vicious dog that is Bron Breakker. Another pinfall here, and another close call. Breakker still in this contest. Karrion Kross better keep his head on straight and not let the frustration start to mount, or Bron Breakker may just come back to haunt him here. Karrion Kross taken down. I'll tell you what, over the first year, I should say, of Bron Breakker's main roster career on SmackDown, there was a whole lot of bark. But ever since joining Monday Night Raw, it's been a whole lot of bite, and Karrion Kross finding that out. Just like that, Breakker set over the top. Kross not allowing a comeback to mount here in Washington, D.C. We are live tonight in the Capital One Arena for Night 1 of the Great American Bash. Night 2, courtesy of SmackDown, this Friday night in Philadelphia. While cross leveling Breaker at ringside with the Lariato. I don't know if we have seen Braun Breaker in this kind of predicament ever since joining Monday Night Raw in the draft a few months ago. Cross has controlled a lot of this matchup, and it is not looking good for the badass. Never count out the man they call meaner than evil. Breaker creating a little separation, and credit to him. Braun Breaker bringing the fight back inside the ring. Going behind, carrying Cross, might have just got caught. Breaker realizing it's now or never. Military press into the slam. A sense of urgency coming over Breaker, and he goes right to the well with one of his best maneuvers. And Karrion Kross still in the match. Gotta give credit to Braun Breaker. That isn't just thinking on your feet, that is thinking ring smart. That was a veteran move by Breaker to go to the well with one of his best maneuvers. Just an unfortunate case of not enough damage done. Now look at Scarlett trying to intervene. Luckily for Braun Breaker again, some more veteran instincts being shown by the former two-time NXT champion as he continues to learn, continues to progress here on Raw. Staying the focus on Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross down off the moonsault. Scarlett trying to scream and yell at Breaker. Breaker's trying to obviously brush it off, but easier said than done when Scarlett's right over your shoulder. Inside cradle by the Harbinger of Doom to steal the spot in Money in the Bank. Not just yet. So far, the Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn from Raw and SmackDown's Trick Williams have qualified. Who will join the field next? A shoulder block there, and Karrion Kross taken down, or I should say kept down once more. Off that incredible agility with that moonsault. Karrion Kross brought to the corner. Kross needs a final prayer to try to get back into this matchup, but I don't know if Braun Breaker's going to allow a distance being created. Spear by Breaker out of nowhere. Striking while the iron's hot. The badass on his way to the United Kingdom.
Here is your winner,
Karrion Kross not going to be happy about that. Controlled a lot of this matchup, but Braun Breaker struck with what he needed to most. And the rise of the dawn. Braun Breaker continues to climb here on Monday Night Raw, but will he be climbing the ladder on his way to winning Money in the Bank? We find out a week from Saturday in London, England. Well, as we have discussed multiple times tonight, Kevin Owens thrown to the wolves last week on Monday Night Raw, and the WWE Champion pinned by the Prince Finn Balor. And that leaves Money in the Bank with a huge question mark, because coming up next week on Raw, one half of the World Tag Team Champions Finn Balor has a chance to spoil one of the Money in the Bank main events as he goes one-on-one with Kevin Owens for the WWE Championship. And speaking of the Judgment Day, who will be next to join the Money in the Bank fields? Dirty Dominic Mysterio, set to go one-on-one with Baron Corbin in a men's Money in the Bank qualifier. Dare I say, I'm sure Sami Zayn would love to get his hands on Dominic in the United Kingdom. As for the women's side of the field, who will take the last Monday Night Raw spot in the Money in the Bank ladder matchup? We find out next week as it is Mi Chin one-on-one with the up-and-coming Cora Jade. All that and more next week on Raw. But it is main event time here in Washington, D.C. And it is the last woman standing contest for the WWE Women's Championship as the Nightmare Rhea Ripley defends the gold against Liv Morgan. Dare I say, this has been the story of 2024, kicking off back at the Royal Rumble in January when Liv Morgan, on record saying her most embarrassing loss in her career as she was physically dominated by the Eradicator on that night. Liv Morgan could have tucked her tail between her legs and never to be seen again, but she came back, dusted herself off, earned #1 contendership, and challenged Rhea Ripley once more for the WWE Women's title back at WrestleMania. Liv Morgan finding a way to keep down Rhea to become the Women's Champion. As for Rhea Ripley, after taking a few weeks off, she emerged on Monday Night Raw and started wreaking havoc to every woman in the locker room until she was guaranteed a shot to win back her gold. Liv Morgan obviously the target of the Nightmare, and all roads led to vengeance back in the month of May, where we saw the trilogy fight between these two women. Rhea Ripley came in a very dangerous and motivated #1 contender. Liv Morgan was out to prove that her win over Rhea at WrestleMania was not a fluke. And although Liv Morgan went down in a blaze of glory, she went down nonetheless. Rhea Ripley kicking off yet another reign, bringing back the women's title to the clubhouse of the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan has been waiting to get her chance at the championship all over again. Of course, with Bianca Belair thrown in the mix, Rhea Ripley retaining her title in a triple threat back at the King of the Ring. Rhea Ripley has continued to lay out Liv Morgan, knowing Liv has been in pursuit of her title time and time again, whether it been shots with the championship over the dome, the riptide at the top of the stage on the steel grate. Rhea has left Liv laying, and it has all led to this last woman standing match tonight. Who's going to be on the soles of their boots and on top of the division as the WWE Women's Champion?
The following contest is a last woman standing match and is for the WWE Women's Championship.
It is certainly a big fight feel here at the Great American Bash. And here comes your challenger, a former WWE Women's Champion in her own right, who has been intertwined with Rhea Ripley all year long. Liv Morgan has a chance tonight to prove that WrestleMania was not a fluke, and to prove once and for all that she is better than Rhea Ripley, all the while possibly leaving Washington, D.C. as your new WWE Women's Champion. What we can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, is that the winner of this matchup will defend the gold a week from Saturday in London, England, against the woman who has been on the rise over the last number of weeks, that being Bayley. Liv and Bayley teaming up last week to take on Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Bayley waits in the wind at Money in the Bank for whoever is your women's champion of Monday Night Raw. But that is then, this is now, and approaching the ring. Love her, like her, hate her, regardless of how you feel, nobody can deny the results of the Nightmare, the Eradicator, and your WWE Women's Champion, Rhea Bloody Ripley. Rhea knows all about this time of year. It was last year that she captured the Women's Money in the Bank briefcase, cashed it in on September the 16th at SmackDown's No Mercy event, defeating Shayna Baszler to kick off a 169-day title reign as your Women's Champion. That is the same title reign that Liv Morgan burned to the ground back on March the 2nd on WrestleMania Saturday. And we saw the havoc that Rhea Ripley implored upon the division until she got back what matters most to her, and that is the championship that she flaunts on her way to the squared circle here in the Capital One Arena. It has been a long, storied rivalry between Rhea and Liv. And one thing to note is all the attacks by Rhea Ripley, whether it was leading up to Vengeance, leading up to King of the Ring, or now this last woman standing match tonight. Does Rhea Ripley realize that Liv Morgan has what it takes to defeat her and become the champion? Is Rhea feeling nervous in a high stakes, high reward Monday Night Raw main event?
Introducing the challenger from Elmwood Park, New Jersey, Liv Morgan. And her opponent from Adelaide, South Australia, the WWE Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley.
We want to thank you for joining us all throughout tonight. Again, this is only night one of the Great American Bash. Night two coming your way courtesy of SmackDown, live in Philadelphia at 5 p.m. Eastern Time this Friday night. But the lights are on bright here in the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. The week of Independence Day here in our nation's capital. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley takes center stage for the fourth time in 2024. The bell has sounded and your main event is underway. Last woman standing rules. No countouts, no disqualifications. The first woman to incapacitate their opponent to the point where they cannot answer the referee's count of 10 will be the winner and will leave Washington, D.C. as your women's champion. These two women know each other extremely well at this point. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Vengeance, the triple threat at King of the Ring, now one-on-one for the fourth time this year, with no rules or restrictions and no pinfalls or submissions needed. Just a bloody war to a bitter end. Liv Morgan with so much to prove and everything to gain tonight. Rhea Ripley just looking to keep her stranglehold on the women's division. Rhea Ripley voted by you, the fans, the 2023 Women's Superstar of the Year, and for good reason. Women's Champion, Money in the Bank holder last year. Success that has bled into 2024. On behalf of the Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley has continued to be dangerous, but Liv Morgan looking to take things to the extreme, not if Rhea has anything to say. Liv getting that kendo stick, anything goes in this contest. Rhea Ripley obviously looking to avoid disaster. That kendo stick can certainly be an equalizer for the strength and size that Rhea Ripley outweighs Liv Morgan with. But it's just going to be that much more of a devastating weapon in the hands of the Eradicator. Oh, almost went into the WWE Universe. And Liv Morgan is in for a fight tonight. Rhea Ripley already a tall task in a normal wrestling matchup. Now take the handcuffs off and leave us in a last woman standing affair. What the hell does Rhea Ripley have in mind tonight? Getting the table from underneath the squared circle. All is fair in love and war. Liv Morgan not trying to be overzealous, but might have hesitated too long. Rhea Ripley taking her down into the steel steps. Liv Morgan has had to come in tonight with an A plan, a B plan, a C plan, all the way to Z. To try to keep down Rhea Ripley. As the fight now spills into the WWE Universe, we are live here in Washington, D.C. in the Capital One Arena, and this fight can go anywhere, from this building all the way to the White House. The referees only got to follow the action and count for a 10. For this match to hear a bell and to determine who is leaving the Great American Bash as the WWE Women's Champion. I am sure this capacity audience getting their money's worth up close and personal with two of the hottest stars in the WWE today. Oh, Got to give credit to Liv Morgan. All throughout 2024, she has continued to hang in there in victory and defeat. Even when she has gotten knocked down, she has gotten back up, brushed herself off, and continued to be a nuisance in Rhea Ripley's career. Rhea Ripley looking to finally eradicate and a purposeful play on words there as she looks to take care of her Liv Morgan problem tonight. But just as Liv has done throughout 2024, Liv is hanging in and continuing to fight with Rhea Ripley in these early moments of this last woman standing match tonight. Couple of closed fists, couple of uppercuts, couple of forearms, whatever it takes to try to knock each other out. They might not need the squared circle and the weapons that may lie underneath of it. This may just come down to a boxing match. See who the last woman standing is that way. Hey, you get a knockout blow, you'll certainly leave your opponent down for a count of 10. Liv Morgan trying to not let Rhea Ripley dictate this matchup. Rhea's strength and size may overpower, or the underdog instincts that ever say die attitude of Liv Morgan outweigh Rhea Ripley tonight. Back and forth as Washington, D.C. continues to come unglued and Liv Morgan down momentarily. Asia Smith going for the count. But Rhea Ripley realizing that it's going to take a lot more to keep Liv Morgan down, just trying to get ahead of the curve. That is all it takes. That referee counting to numeral 10 for us to hear a bell for a women's champion to be decided. Continuing with this brawl. A full-on bar fight in the middle of Capital One Arena. They might as well go up to the bar in the concourse at this point and just start swinging. Rhea Ripley backing up, trying to get away from Liv Morgan. I think she's had enough of the chaos in the midst of the WWE Universe. Liv Morgan creating a little distance. Rhea Ripley down momentarily. I don't think it takes a genius to figure out that it's going to take a hell of a lot more to keep down Rhea Ripley. Multiple-time women's champion, but her most successful reign coming last year and into this year, 169 days. I'm sure Rhea is looking to top that this time around. Referee's at a count of 6, but if Liv gets up, she's going to be having a ladder waiting in the wind, or not just yet. Oblivion out of nowhere. Rhea Ripley trapped underneath the ladder momentarily. Liv Morgan upping the ante. Count of 7. Rhea's in trouble. It's starting to get to her feet. Man, Liv Morgan saw that ladder coming her way, and she struck and damn near hit a home run. Oblivion out of nowhere. And Rhea Ripley might have gotten up, but at what cost? Damage certainly done to the Eradicator. Wanted to use that ladder, did not get her way, at least momentarily, and that time, Liv Morgan sent right to the rugs. Money in the Bank ain't till next Saturday, but Rhea Ripley looking to climb those rugs for one reason or another here tonight in Washington, D.C. Setting up that damn near 15-foot high ladder at ringside. So whatever Rhea Ripley's got in mind could certainly, Jesus, not be good for tonight's challenger. As we mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, Bayley waiting in the wind for whoever wins this matchup. She will challenge the winner a week from Saturday at Money in the Bank for the WWE Women's title, whether that be the current champion Rhea Ripley or the woman who could leave the brand new champion, a friend of Bayley's in Liv Morgan. Count of 5. Asia Smith continues to count as Rhea Ripley is looking to rearrange some hardware. Rhea Ripley is just trying to stay one step ahead as Liv Morgan taken down off the boot momentarily. Rhea's got a ladder, she's got a table, and whatever's going through the minds of Rhea Ripley, gotta imagine is hardwired for self-destruct of Liv Morgan. Referee's at a count of 8. Rhea may not need the weaponry she implored. Liv to her feet, and no, momentarily as she just gets ragdolled across the table. Liv Morgan's body sent lifeless over top of the wood. I don't think Asia Smith needs to start counting right now. Rhea Ripley is looking to put an exclamation point on Liv Morgan once and for all in 2024. No matter the result, this will go down as a great rivalry of this year. Rhea Ripley scaling the ladder. Liv Morgan, look out. She's in the drop zone. Through the table. Rhea Ripley putting her own body in harm's way to try to seek and destroy her challenger tonight. Liv Morgan, the ever-living thorn in the side of the nightmare, but somehow, some way, scrapes her body to her feet after being crushed through the table. But Liv sidesteps Rhea Ripley. It's looking like a car wreck in the aisleway, but Liv Morgan realizing it is now or never. Code breaker. Live today or die trying. There may not be another opportunity for Liv Morgan to close this chapter of her career with Rhea Ripley on a high note. Rhea to her feet, and she's walking up the aisleway. Rhea may have enough of this match. She could be trying to blow it off CM Punk style. I don't think Liv Morgan is going to allow Rhea to play those games. A second oblivion on the LED ramp. Washington, D.C. coming unglued as Rhea Ripley is looking lifeless in the aisleway. Rhea trying to get to her feet as her championship may have just flashed before her eyes. Rhea realizing she has got to put the final nail in the coffin of Liv Morgan. And back to the carnage that awaits. Rhea, Liv, both dragging their bodies that have got to be feeling the fatigue of this last woman standing contest. And Rhea set down at ringside momentarily. With every ounce of energy that's left and every desire to be the woman here in WWE as the champion on Monday Night Raw. Trying to let adrenaline fuel them. Feel the fatigue and the pain of this matchup tomorrow. Live in the moment and win the championship. Once again, the referee looking to count Rhea Ripley out. Rhea trying to just stay on her soles of her boots. Liv Morgan has got to find somehow, some way, something big to keep down Rhea Ripley. Rhea throwing Liv right to the barricade, and wait a minute here. Rhea Ripley deconstructing the announce table here at ringside. Asia Smith's counting. Rhea Ripley's gonna wave it off. Rhea wants to end this matchup on her own note. Liv Morgan's got to fight back. It's now or never. As Rhea Ripley is looking to have her way with the woman who has been a thorn in her side throughout 2024. Liv Morgan, this is not going to be good for her. Riptide through the announce table. And the count begins as Rhea Ripley stands over the lifeless body of Liv Morgan. Live to fight another day. Rhea Ripley, the last woman standing. A brawl from pillar to post, with both women throwing their best shots, but Rhea Ripley causes the destruction and lives to tell the tale.
Here's your winner, and still the WWE Women's Champion,
And we can now confirm that Rhea Ripley will make the trip across the pond to defend that championship against Bayley at Money in the Bank a week from Saturday. But the story here at the Great American Bash edition of Monday Night Raw is that after a tumultuous rivalry in 2024, Rhea Ripley eradicates Liv Morgan. Still your women's champion, the Nightmare is always on top.